Hey, good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live with me, Mike Avery, here on many of my social media platforms, and I'm so glad to have you along with us. I'm here, obviously, not in my office tonight. I'm not at the house, but where am I? I'm out on Saginaw Bay, my beloved Saginaw Bay, aboard an Angler Quest, and you know I love that. We're running offshore tackle boards. We'll talk more about that. But anyway, I want to set the stage here a little bit. Again, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. This is something I do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock on my social media platforms. And really glad to have you along with us. I'm not seeing any comments yet. I'm seeing we have some people on board. Somebody shoot me a comment so I can make sure I can see comments tonight, just to be sure. And we will go from there. But we already have some fish. I'm fishing with Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest himself. There we go. Hello, Martin. How are you? Now that I know I can see comments, I'm not going to be able to bring them on tonight because I'm going to be a little bit busy, but I'm glad to know you're with us. I'm fishing with Mr. Angler Quest himself. Craig Plowman is with us. He says, good evening, Captain. William's with us. Kirk is with us. Jerry's with us. Ryan's with us. All right, we got a good crew now. I'm also fishing with the man at the helm of offshore tackle these days. His name is Nick DeShano, and his son Ari's out here with us as well. All right, we got people coming on from Tennessee tonight. Oh, good. No, we're not in Skinny Water. I know, I don't know what to do. We're not in Skinny Water. If it was my boat, we'd be up in Skinny Water. But when I'm with a guy who is a much better angler than me. His name is Brad Dupuis. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this camera around and show you what we're dealing with. It is a beautiful, kind of a muggy night on Saginaw Bay, but we're getting fish and we're going to get some more. So you know this schedule here by now. For me to turn things around, it's a little bit of a hassle, but we'll make the most of it. Camera, front, back camera. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. This is the man himself right here, Brad Dupuis. This is Nick DeShano of Offshore. This is Ari DeShano, third generation, and we are out here on Saginaw Bay, and it is absolutely beautiful. A little bit muggy. Brad, I'm going to get around behind you so I can get some sun on your face, all right? Otherwise, it's just a silhouette. Okay, here's our setup. Look at this. 5 boards on each side. We're running spoons. 5 on this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're on this man's boat right here.
He's in my office today.
In his office. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the man himself, Mr. Angler Quest, Brad Dupuis. Brad, how you doing tonight, buddy?
We're doing great. We're on the water. We're catching a few. We got some dandies in there. We have a southwest wind. It's not blowing northeast. It's comfortable. It's hot, but we're cool. Doing great.
Kristen Monroe just texted me. I wonder what she wants.
Hard telling. She's here to join us.
I want to see, guys. Let's see the big fish. You guys want to come and get this big fish? Yeah, again, Nick DeShano, Ari DeShano.
Which one is it?
So here's our live well on the Angler. Look at this.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at this fish.
Smacked me
For
right
one
in the
thing,
arm.
you want to grab it, Nick?
Jesus.
Look at the gold color. It looks like a gogebic fish. Lift it up so I can see it. There we go. Nice and high. That is a 26-inch fish. Right, guys? 26?
Yeah.
26.
That's the FOD, the fish of the day. Is that Bobby right there? And that might be Bobby Sullivan of Icebreaker Charters over there. That is a beautiful. Look at the fish. Why do you think he's so gold, guys?
I don't know. He was a little deeper water. He found himself a hole somewhere to hide out for a while.
He was in a little deeper on the bottom. Beautiful fish, though.
Wow, he is. That is a beauty. All right, and we're on the Angler Quest as Nick puts that back in the live well. We'll close it up. And we're going to show you this Angler Quest tonight. But Brad, what I want you to do is I want you to show us your spoon program. How does this work?
Alrighty, let me grab a couple.
All right, while he's grabbing it, I'm going to show you here again. This is Saginaw Bay on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday evening on a Wednesday Night Live. We thought we were going to get some storms. We did not, so we are happy as can be. I'll bring the camera back around. You can see, I call this a radar arch. What's it called actually, Brad?
That's what I call it too.
Oh,
It is
radar
a
arch.
Trax Tech radar arch, and it's an awesome feature to help keep those rods vertical and clear of each other on inside turns, all adjustable. rod rack up top to store them when you're going from point A to point B. So
Absolutely
awesome feature on the
beautiful.
boat.
All
Absolutely.
right, let's talk about your spoon program. You're the best spoon angler I know. Talk to me about it.
All right, I am an avid spoon angler. I've been running spoons for many, many years, and this day and age, I'm a jet diver guy. I'll run some tadpoles on occasion as well, but my 30 jet divers, I like to pair them up with spoons that kind of look like they should belong together.
And what do we call that spoon right there?
That is a Dreamweaver. That is an Angler Quest color.
That's the Angler Quest
that's a
spoon.
great color.
Absolutely.
So I love my Dreamweaver spoons. They have great durability where it takes a lot to knock that paint off. I'm running an 8-9 foot leader. We're running them at varying distances back so that we're covering the water column differently depending on how far we put them back. We're working the bottom today. Really, the bottom 5 feet seem to be working the best for us at this moment. So we're in 16, 18 foot of water and putting them back.
So on your setup here, okay, here's the question people have all the time. Which rod holder is your outside, and is that the long lead or the shallow lead?
I keep my high ones on the outside. So this particular setup, we have a lead core on the very outside, a 3-color lead core. And then we've got I believe we're at 35, 45, 55, and 65. I run my deepest, closest to the boat to form a big V. I can cause some issues with some small fish if there's one dragging, or if you have a small fish that's undersized, that jet diver will still dive on you. And sometimes you'll get some of those inside lines that are back further. So it takes a little stealth and care to make sure you don't catch some of those longer leads, but I love working the bottom with these baits.
All right, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to set the stage here again, and I'll talk to the camera here. It takes the front camera. All right. Okay, folks, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. I'm on the boat of Mr. Angler Quest himself, Brad Dupuis. We're on his Angler Quest pontoons. We're here with Nick Duchesneau of Offshore Tackle, his son, Ari Duchesneau. Very, very cool. If you have a question for either one of these guys about how to set up for walleye, in particular, Saginaw Bay walleye, which is where we are fishing out of the Linwood Beach Marina. LinwoodBeachMarina.com. The website for Offshore Tackle is offshoretackle.com. The website, is that a fish guide, guys, number 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The website for Angler Quest Pontoons is anglerquestpontoons.com. We got a fish on. I'm going to turn it around right now so you can see it. Okay. Ari's got a fish on right here.
Looks like that second one.
All right, go back to the corner if you would here, Ari, so I can see what you're doing. We're running offshore OR12 boards. We'll talk more about those in a minute. They are set up ideally to release, although that one didn't. We'll talk more about that. There are different ways to run these boards. What do you think, Ari? Big fish, small fish?
Feels like big. I'm not 100% sure, but.
Oh, my camera wanted to give me fits here. All right. So we'll walk you through this. All right, so who's going to net this fish for us?
Nick, you want to net it? Or
I
want
can
me
net it. Yeah.
I'm actually going to take this off my gimbal because my gimbal's raising heck with me. There we go. I like this. Bald guy, fellow bald guy right here.
Hey, that's the way to go.
It's nice in hot weather, isn't it?
All the money we save on shampoo and haircuts,
That's
we
good.
go buy more fishing stuff.
Oh,
All right. So this is an offshore OR12. It's set up with a tattle flag. Nick's going to take the board off right now.
Keep reeling.
That'll leave us with just the fish and the jet diver. There we go.
once the jet diver gets up, it either feels like bigger a little.
All right.
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good fish. He'll keep.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that fish. We're catching
Okay, back
fish
up.
live on the Angler Quest tonight on Wednesday Night Live on Saginaw Bay. That's a good fish. He will keep
There
for
we go.
sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get a good picture of him in the net. He's caught on a spoon, obviously. It's a fire tiger spoon of some kind, right?
Yep.
Beautiful. Go ahead and do what you got to do, Nick. Tom says we're dragging it in. Yeah, because we're walleye fishing. You drag them all in. Cooked pretty well. He wasn't coming off.
No.
That is a fire tiger.
Fire tiger's always good, isn't it?
It is.
Can't go wrong with a fire tiger.
I got it.
Okay. Nice
Yeah.
Saginaw Bay walleye. Hold him up, Nick, so we can see him. Hold him horizontal because I'm shooting in a horizontal format. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with that fish. Let's splash him. There we go. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Captain Brad, nice job.
Nice one.
All
Take
right.
those all day long.
All right, Nick, as long as we're going to reset this, let's use this opportunity now. But I'm going to get on the other side of you, Brad. Can you grab this net out of our way here?
40, Nick.
I'm going to get on the other side of you. While you're setting that, I'll show you. We're not going to starve out here tonight because we are eating, Nick Grillo, we are eating Michigan brand snacks here on the Angler Quest. So, Nick, how far out's this one going?
This one's 40. It's a little higher. Most of them have been in at 50, 55, but this one's up 40, so maybe as it gets a little later, they'll start coming up on it.
Beautiful. Okay, now, here's the cool part. Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle is going to show us how to set a tattle flag on an offshore OR-12.
So the first thing I like to do, we're using just the stock releases. This is what they come with. I grab the line and I make a little loop with it. And you can either twist it with your fingers to make a loop. To me, it's just as easy. I just spin my fingers like that. And I pinch that loop. Put it fairly tight, pretty far in.
Okay.
I put it most of the way in. And for the red one, of course, make sure you get the line behind that little pin back there.
All the way in.
All the way back. There's pins on the back. You can't put it too deep in. So put it all the way in.
Okay. And then show me the tattle flag. Show me how that works.
Right here. So we've got a little slack between the two releases. You get a little slack line. That way when the fish pulls, it can move. You don't need that much, but just enough so it starts moving around.
Beautiful. And you
This
let it
one's
out.
a little tight. See how the flag doesn't really pop up? You
Yep.
probably need to loosen that screw up a little bit.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. All right, beautiful. Tom is saying, so we troll off the radar arch only with boards, or do you have long lines off the arch? Are we just boards tonight?
Just boards.
Oh, lead core.
Yeah,
Lead core too, yeah, on a board.
The lead core's on a board as well. It's hard to keep something up the center with everything coming to the center once you hook a fish. So we usually like to keep the center clear. So no, all these are mostly just for traveling from point A to point B, just to get them out of the way.
What is this? This is a 2023 8526 Pro Troll.
Correct.
Walk me through it, Brad.
Yeah, this is an 8526 Pro Troll with a 300 Suzuki. We're using bags to help get us our speed. We can get slow enough with a 300, but especially against the winds. But to keep a good consistent speed and deploy a bag off each side, we got a little eye that's mounted on the under channeling to clip onto. So we're running 2 bags of the 300. We got dual live wells in this particular boat, and 8526 fishing machine.
Fishing machine. Now, the Pro Trolls are famous for a couple things. This, what we call a radar arch, and Nick just put a rod up in that. It gets the rods out and spread. And also the center console. Let's take a look at this, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the center console. You'll notice there are no gauges. We run all the display units through the actual graph itself. So you can actually go in here and see our engine data, RPMs, trim, oil pressures, temperature, everything is visually displayed. So we don't have any gauges on this. I've got this, and this is a Garmin unit, which is a great unit. I also have an autopilot that controls the big motor to keep us on track, which is awesome. And you can fit up to a 12-inch electronics in that dash.
All right. So we've got rod holders on the gunnels.
Yep.
The remind me the word on
We
this.
called it the binary wall.
Binary. Thank you.
And we have tracks that are standard on our Pro models. And almost any rod holder fits in it. We put all TrackStack product, top quality product. The gunnel binary wall also has hatches for different storage. We'll take all the offshore boards for one side, put them in the back hatch on each side, depending on the side. Ropes, bags, cleaning equipment. We also have tilt-out tackle, which is kind of a nice feature in this as well.
Before you do that, how fast? Somebody's asking, how fast do you run your spoons?
About 2.5.
2.5. And are you running a kicker or the big motor?
Big motor.
Okay.
Yep.
So these are storage trays back here. Very, very nice.
Yep. A few flicker shads there. That's kind of my out-of-the-box ones, and this is my custom box.
Okay, more storage here.
Yep.
Lots of storage everywhere.
So binary wall is critical to be able to house the arch, rod holder systems, downrigger systems, and things of that nature.
All right.
So,
Nick, would you grab that box of boards so we can take a look at some other ones as I turn my camera around here just to bring people back to speed on where we are? I'd like to take a look at both of them. My name is Mike Avery, by the way. This is Wednesday Night Live. We are live on Saginaw Bay aboard the Angler Quest, the 8526 Pro Troll, a 2023 model. Look at this. This thing is a fishing machine. This is Brad Dupuis right here. This is Nick DeShano right there. And that's hard on backwards. I apologize. And we're out here for a Wednesday Night Live. We have, I don't know, 10, 12 fish in the boat right now, guys. What do you think we have?
Something of that nature.
Yeah, something about that, yeah.
We get some beautiful.
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful. All right, I'm going to turn this back around. If you have a question, please feel free to ask your question, and we will take care of it. I've got two experts out here. I tell you what, I'm very honored to be out here tonight because I'm with, honestly, two great men in the fishing industry. Brad Dupuis of Angler Quest, Nick DeShano of Offshore, and his son Ari. Let's talk about your boards. What do you got here, Nick?
Well, this is OR12. It's the most popular one. That's the main. This covers 90% of your fishing. Let's bring the release out here a little bit.
Is this the way it comes from the factory set up like this?
It comes this for packaging. So you just unscrew that. Or some people like to store it. Some people like to unscrew that nut. The key with this nut is when you first get them and they're brand new, before you put them out, you want to make sure that nut's tight and every time you put it out. So once they're new, sometimes that nut can come loose. But after they've been in the water, that nut takes a little bit of water. It swells up a little bit and it's locked on there for good after a while. This has got the tattle flag kit. This is an option. It's not all people use the tattle flags, so we make it an add-on if you want to add it on.
So do they come like that, or you have to add it?
Yeah, add it on. It's like use about $10 extra. So we used to have a full kit with the extra 2 releases and the flag and all that. But the way the boards are run, all you need is the kit that's got the wire, the washer, the spring in it, and that's pretty much all you need to do with it.
So that is the Offshore OR12. That's the
Yep.
that's the
flagship.
workhorse.
That's the workhorse. Any body of water, you can use it pretty much on anything. We run out here. We run a lot of these. This is a little mini board, and this is a fun one. If you're running crankbaits, flicker shads, minnows, any kind of crankbaits out here, but you know, on smaller boats, or especially people that are new into boards and they're not sure how they want to like them, out here on Saginaw Bay and inland waters. This board, my dad fishes out of Bayshore quite a bit, and this is all he uses on his boat. He doesn't hardly use the 12s anymore. He likes they're so lightweight on the rod. They're easy to bring out. You can flip it around. So there's reversible. The other boards, there's a left and a right. This is set up. It'll go out to the left-hand side. You just pop the bracket off it, flip it around.
Nice.
And now it'll go out to the right-hand side. So they store away. You can put a bunch of them in a tackle box. They're easy to store, and they're really fun. They're light on their line. It's kind of like using a light line catching fish. You know, the fish hits it. There's no doubt when there's a fish on because they go sailing back. We got one?
Yeah.
What's the retail on those boards? We got some questions.
These are about $20, 20 to 22, 23.
And the 12s?
On the 12s are anywhere from upper 20s to 40, depending on where you're at. Different places have them in different
Excellent.
spots.
I'm going to turn our attention to the
Yeah.
fish. Ari's got to. Thanks for turning that clicker off, Brad. I appreciate that. Ari, what do we got, buddy?
Seems small.
Another
This is
fish.
That's a 3-color lead core, so that lead core can mask the size of that fish a little bit. So hopefully it's a good keeper here.
Yeah.
Chad Bailey, a real good Saginaw Bay walleye stick, wants to know how far do you put the gap normally between your boards, Brad? And how far do you run your outside board out?
Well, I guess I don't really have a number, but I run them way out. I'm actually running them pretty close. I love the deep water and really putting a big swath out. So it depends too. If I'm running them high, I'm not going to run them quite as far. But when I'm running them way back, sometimes in the deep water, I'm running them 100 feet. So
All right, we'll watch Nick take this board off. That's the Offshore
Well, I want to
OR12.
be careful when I take the board off that I have them reel right to my hand. You don't want to bowstring that line. If you get any kind of slack line pulling that board off, that's when you could lose your fish. So
Gotcha.
Take it tight. I usually tell them put the rod right over my shoulder and follow it up, take it off pretty easy.
Great advice right there. And this is on lead core, so he's out there a bit. So I'll go back to you, Brad.
Yeah.
The ones that are not lead core, How much line are you putting out? That's a question.
Like today, we're putting them out 40 to 60 essentially. So we have 40 feet of line from planer board to the jet itself. So it depends on where we're at. It looks like we might have a sheep's head.
Sheep head? Bah. All right, we'll show a sheep head. We won't keep him, but we'll show him. Usually a good fighting fish. Oh, this one's a little on the small side.
Got it?
And we got another fish over here, Brad.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, get it?
All right. What made you think that there was a fish on, Brad? And that's not a trick question.
Well,
I'm serious.
This particular one, the board released, so it was pretty easy to see. The rod was loaded up. A lot of times I run them pretty rigid where I really aren't using the flag. So you read the board and read the rod and how loaded up it is generally are what I look for.
Does this one feel more like a walleye?
It does.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Ari's got him. Nick, I'll ask you this
Yeah, it does
question.
feel.
What clips would you use for braided line?
Braided line. I like to run the OR18. It's a snapper. It's cam operated, and depending on, I like to trip them now, so I'll run that OR18 on the back of the board, and then I'll run the Sam's release. That's kind of a plunger style release where you wrap the line around it and snap it in.
Okay.
And I'll run that on the front of the board.
So
Yeah, it feels like
so
a
these
mono.
clips right here, these are designed for mono.
Designed for mono. The red one, if you want to run the red one with braids, you can. You just want to wrap it through. So the line goes through.
Holy cow.
I can show you on here.
Ari says he thinks he's got a nice fish here, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Heavy.
But when I hook the braid up on the back, I'll pinch it through, and then I loop it around, and I bring it back through again.
Great.
And now it won't slide.
Ah, gotcha.
And if
gotcha.
that braid, if this release slides, it'll cut right through that pin, and there's just no way of going about it. So you just
All right.
wrap that through, and anything. Kind of keep an eye on your releases. If you see a little wear mark on the pin, the line sliding through it, and you just got to wrap it. And it'll
Well,
keep it.
and just, swap out your clips. Put new
Yeah.
clips on, right?
Yep.
Because the boards will last forever.
We can get pads. You can get replacement pads if you want to dig it out. You can get new clips for it, however you want to do it. Yeah, they'll last forever. The boards, most of the times you're at tournaments and you see the pro staff guys, a lot of them carry repair kits with extra flags. They don't replace releases, but
Right.
flags and foam and stuff like that.
So Brad is putting another line out while Ari is bringing a fish in, and his dad, Nick,
Yeah.
DeShano, is getting ready to take the board
It
off.
feels more like,
Yeah, I think we got some weight on this one, don't we, Nick?
Yeah.
yeah, it feels
Looks
more
like we got a little rain coming in over your shoulder there, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, get tired.
People say we got a storm coming in. That doesn't look too bad. Just like a little rain is all.
A little bit of rain. Sometimes that's fire.
Oh, there's some weight on this fish,
Yeah,
boys. There's some weight on this one.
Nice and easy with this one. All right.
Yeah, there's weight.
There you go, Ari. Good job. Good job.
That's a nice fish.
There are nets underneath me.
Stand down like a little bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got another 26 incher.
There it is.
Oh, cat.
Yeah, everything. What's that?
Right away, you said catfish. You could tell by the mouth.
I knew it was something more than
Well, let's see.
Good?
No, keep reeling.
Well, we weren't kidding. There's a little more weight on this fish.
Yeah.
If you fish Saginaw Bay walleye, you're going to catch sheephead. You're going to catch catfish over your left shoulder, Nick. On a spoon. They're predators.
All right, where's our pliers at? This one. Oh, we need pliers.
It'd be odd if you don't need the pliers for a cat.
Yeah.
Brad, how has the fishing been out here on the bay this summer?
I think fishing's been phenomenal. It's been absolutely awesome. Our fish are a little far away from us here on the west side. The east side of the channel's been pretty prevalent all year, but no, it's been lights out, quite honestly. So, been a great year, and hopefully our temperatures keep a little lower to keep our fish in the inner bay for us, a little more accessible for us, and we'll have them around for a few more weeks, hopefully.
All right, my brother-in-law, Johnny Craves, is up on shore. He says they're here in Thunder. Let's just keep an ear out for that. Yeah.
Looks like it rained.
Yeah. So we got fish. I mean, if we need to go in, I'm sorry, Ari, if we need to go in, we certainly can. Again, this is the Angler Quest 8526. Look at the storage under these seats. I mean, these things are designed by fishermen for fishermen with a purpose. You've got fishing seats on the bow. You've got a bow mount electric. Personally, I've never had a need to use my bow mount. A lot more storage here. And again, as you look to the back, look at the fishing room on this boat. We'll always be safe, Jerry. I appreciate that, but might get a little bit wet, but nothing more tonight, I don't think. So this is a real treat for me, my friends. Let me turn this back around and talk to you again for just a second. Settings, whoops. Okay, I kicked myself out of the studio. Let me come back and talk to you again for just a second. Okay, this is Wednesday Night Live. I am live on Saginaw Bay aboard an Angler Quest Pontoons, an 85-26 Pro Troll. It was designed by Mr. Angler Quest himself, Brad Dupuis. I am so thrilled to be out here tonight fishing with two great names in the fishing business. Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest, and Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle. It was Nick's dad, Bruce, who started offshore many, many years ago. How many years ago, Nick, for your dad starting offshore? 40-ish?
Like 80, 81.
Okay, 40-ish years ago, Nick, Bruce ran the company for many, many years. These days, he has stepped aside, and Nick is running the company. He's doing a great job. Brad, I'm going to ask you a question here. I don't know if you can answer. Mike wants to know, and I think this is set by dealers. Base price on this boat, or is that all dealer set? Dealer based.
It is a dealer base, something base on this. You know, I mean, realistically, triples are very prevalent. You're probably going to be in the $80,000 to $90,000 range, fully rigged up. So next trailer, motor, electronics, the whole deal.
They are they're not cheap, but boats aren't cheap these days. I mean, you're right in the ballpark.
Yeah, and you're talking, this is a triple tube. There's a 26-foot boat. There's a lot of materials here. So at a retail level, you're going to be in that 80 to 90K. Quite honestly, you start adding kicker motors and many options, and you can get above and beyond that pretty easily.
Can you sit here for just a second, Brad?
Sure.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, now Pro Troll is the fishing machine. It's what we love, but there are other models.
There's a family fish model that is more of a side console. It's got an L group in the back, a little more family, a little more pontoony per se versus the center console. There's Pro Fishing Cruises that have it's a center console once again. It has a T-top. There's an all-sport design that is a bimini with more couches and less fishability. So it all depends on the body of water you're fishing, how you plan on fish, and in all what you prefer. So family fish is a very, very prevalent boat as well.
Dave Mason, and I'm going to come sit next to you, says he remembers when these first came out, and he thinks that ages him. But it hasn't been that many years, Brad.
I think the very first ones we started producing were in about 2014, 2015 range. So that's sounds like they got another one on back there. What a problem, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, 2014, 2015 were really when the first ones first started hitting the market.
And I've asked you this so many times. Did you ever dream it would become as big as it is?
Well, you know, I did, because the very first one that I took out here is an absolute fishing machine, and did not realize it until you get in one, fish one, experience the room and everything that's within it. I'm not really surprised. No.
Excellent. I'm going to go back there and watch these guys net this fish. Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters is on with us right now. Ron, always a pleasure, buddy. I had a great time bear hunting with you. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. This is Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle. Look at this.
Another one on there?
OR12. You think there's a fish or not?
I don't know.
After all, we are walleye fishing. It's not always easy to tell, is it?
Straight down though. It's weird. No, just a jet.
Just a jet?
Yeah.
Just a jet.
Yeah.
All right.
Huh.
All right. Now the radar's talking to us, so we got to keep an eye on things, guys. All right. So, Nick, let me ask you, as long as I got you right here. Offshore, your dad started it with one simple clip, one release, right?
The old OR1 downrigger release back in 81, I think, when they were running charters out of Port Austin. They started that out.
And I remember working with your dad early on. I mean, you were 5, 6 years old out in a boat with us.
I was young, yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time. Been a long time.
Long
We're
time.
both gray now.
Yeah, they're both bald and gray.
Yeah.
And think about this though. Think of what your company has done. I mean, they call you the leaders in trolling technology, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's been neat. It's been fun. You know, thought when I was running around his age, I never would have dreamed we'd be doing what we're doing now. But it's been a lot of fun throughout the years, and met a lot of really fun people, including yourself and Brad, and be able to get to do this. And I'm at work. It doesn't get any better than this right now. You know, we're on a beautiful boat, and the weather's nice. Hopefully, it'll hold up for us for a little while yet tonight. And can't ask for any more than that.
Can I get you guys to stand side by side here for just a second? Because I got to be honest, guys. For me, this is a real treat. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and the joy of what I do is to be able to work with guys like you, Brad Dupuis of AnglerQuest, Mr. AnglerQuest, the guy who came up with the design, Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle, the guy at the helm of this. It is such a treat and such an honor to get to fish with you guys tonight. And I wanted to publicly acknowledge that I appreciate your partnership, guys. You make great products, and I appreciate your friendship.
It goes both ways. Like I said, we've been working with you for years, and it's just couldn't ask for anybody better to partner with. So it's been a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah.
100% agree. We appreciate your partnership big time. So thank
All
you.
right. Guys, I'm going to maybe wrap this up a little bit early in case we're going to get wet here, all right?
It looks like it.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this around one more time here.
Yeah. You might have to.
Okay. All right. So I will turn this around and wrap this up just because I think the weather's going to move in on us. But it's been a great night out here on Saginaw Bay. We've caught walleye. The weather's been beautiful up until now. A little bit hot, a little bit muggy, but we have fish in the live well, and that is really okay. Linda says she just pulled in a couple of nice walleye into her Quest family fish. Excellent. You're going to get wet, but it's going to cool off. That's for sure. All right. One more time. We're fishing Saginaw Bay out of Linwood Beach Marina. The website for Linwood Beach Marina is linwoodbeachmarina.com, linwoodbeachmarina.com. I'm fishing with Nick DeShano of Offshore Tackle. The website for offshore is offshoretackle.com. That's offshoretackle.com. We're on an angler quest with Mr. AnglerQuest. The website for AnglerQuest Pontoons is anglerquestpontoons.com, anglerquestpontoons.com. Brad Dupuis will be my guest on the next AnglerQuest podcast. We're going to do that next week. It is the 100th episode of the AnglerQuest podcast. How cool is that? All right, my name is Mike Avery. My website is MikeAveryOutdoors.com. The email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Here in Thunder now, time to call it a night. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you, my friends, for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.